Hey, it's Eran here. In this video, I'm going to explain what are name servers and how these affect your DNS and the ability to connect your domain name to your website builder, such as System.io or Newsendler or Kajabi and so on. And this is a common mistake that sometimes people can make when they're trying to change the settings to connect the domain name, the DNS, domain name services, and domain name servers, and they can't seem to get it connected. And this is because there's a preliminary step that is messed up, and it's the name servers. Now, this can happen especially in a scenario where maybe you had your website previously on something like Wix or Squarespace or something like that, and your domain was with Google Domains, let's say, and now you want to point this domain instead of Wix, you want to paint it to System.io, okay? So definitely when you have migrated from one website to another, that can be an issue. So let me explain the name servers. So basically, the name servers are this is domain.com. So I'm in my domain name, erantemplates.com, and you can see here DNS and name servers. So here's the DNS records, which is usually where changes need to be made in order to connect my domain, this domain erantemplates.com, to System.io or whatever other platform I'm using. Now I can make changes here, which I'm going to do in a moment as well, and I got another video somewhere around here which you can check out or below the description. But it doesn't matter what I'm going to do here if the name servers are wrong. Now the name servers, if you look here, it basically means that the servers, the hosting, are on a computer. That big computer is called a server. And sometimes the domain name, just the name, is pointing toward a different name server. So for example, I'm with domain.com, and if I'm basically pointing the name, which is erantemplates.com, to the servers of domain.com, then the changes I make here are gonna work. But if the name servers, okay, the names that are pointing toward a specific server, if this is, let's say, GoDaddy's servers, what it means is that any changes I make here are not going to take effect at all. So I'm going to be trying to be doing this and follow along, and it's just not going to work, okay? So now, how do I check if this is the correct name servers? So sometimes the name is kind of obvious, sometimes they're not. What you want to do, you want to Google what is, and then name of company, in my case domain.com, default name servers. Now you might be with GoDaddy, so you would say what is GoDaddy default name servers, or what is Namecheap default name servers, or whatever. Now with domain.com, I'm going to do domain.com because that's the one that I'm using, and that's the one I can actually show you. You could see here how to find your default name servers. Now, sometimes, because Google's got really smart, they actually show you pictures as well. So it's actually really smart, basically. So it's really handy when they do that. Now, I'm going to click on it, on this particular support document. And you can see it shows you log into domain dashboard. At the top right, click on the hosting tools, which is this button. And then you will see your name servers. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to click on these 9 squares. And you see here my default name servers. So that's how I know what they are. So now I know that I'm using the right one. I can go back and I know I've got the right one. Now, because I've got the right one, I'm now able to use them. Now, I'll give you an example, right? I have this domain, which is eranbukai.com. And that is, for example, hosted on WordPress. Now, this is actually pointing to a different hosting because I'm not hosting with domain.com, I'm hosting with another company. So when I click here, for example, you will notice that the name servers are actually going to be totally different, okay? And this is my servers. Another one example is eranfunnels.com, which is hosted by a funnel builder called Symvolley. And you can see that the name servers are totally different. And that is why if I go here and try to make changes in the DNS area, it's going to make no difference because it's just not going to work, okay? So that's kind of, I wanted to explain that. I know this is a little bit complicated, but I know that sometimes with people setting up custom domain, after they migrated the website, they can get stuck. So now that I verified that it's the correct name servers, I'm going to now connect the domain name. And let me show you how to do it. So I'm going to go to System. You click right here. You click on Settings. Once you click on Settings, you have these options. And I'm going to click on Custom Domains. Now I'm going to scroll down and click on Add Domain. Now I'm going to type in www.irantemplates.com. Click on Save. Now I've got these details. So I'm going to copy this part. I'm going to go back to the DNS records. You're looking for CNAME. There's no CNAME here except for that one. So I'm going to click here, www, select type, CNAME, paste in the content, 1 hour, add DNS. Your DNS has been added successfully. Now I'm going to go back, copy this, add DNS, select type, CNAME, content, 1 hour, and the name is going to be this piece right here up until the Iran templates. You don't want to copy this, just the first part. Paste this here, add DNS, and there you go. Now I'm going to refresh this page and it will basically say pending validation. It's going to take a few minutes or maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. We'll see, and that's it. Now, to double check I did it all correctly, you can go to dnschecker.org. I'm going to type in irantemplates.com. I'm going to search CNAME, and I'm going to type in www, and then this should become green if I did it correctly. So you can see that it became green, and this is the name service that I pointed it to. So that's the hosting that I pointed it to. So that's all good. Now, if I do without the www, it may not work, which means I need to do something that is called domain forwarding. So what does that mean? It means that I need to now go to pointers and subdomains, and basically what I'm telling it is that if I do www, so if I do if I type in irantemplates.com, I wanted to point it to irantemplates.com. So basically, if somebody types in without the www, then it will go directly to the www website. So now I'm going to click on Save. This is domain pointers. Sometimes you need to do it, sometimes you don't. It just depends. Looks like in this case, I think I'm going to need to do it. So we'll see. Now, if I click on search, it should go, but it could take a day or two as well. So no rush, it's all good. And sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. I will need to check in about 24 hours to see. If it doesn't work, then I'm just gonna go back and make it home again and see if there's another way to do it. But this should work just fine. If you have any questions, let me know. Hope you got value from this video, and I'll speak to you soon.